Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including a Tesla recall, Tesla's exaggerated range numbers, new Project Highland leaks, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla has once again expanded their referral program, allowing owners to earn referral credits when someone completes a demo drive. Compared with a Model Y or 3 purchase, which earns you 10,000 credits when delivered, this is only a small portion at 100 credits, but it's an interesting addition. Its purpose is definitely for current Tesla owners to encourage their friends not only to buy a Tesla, but to drive it for themselves, which may convince them. This update was first announced by Tesla's digital product leader, saying, quote, "Have a friend that needs to drive a Tesla in order to make the switch to electric? Refer them to take a demo drive in the US and earn credits upon completion. Your referral will automatically apply to their order when they decide to buy too." This referral program is something that Tesla can alter at any time, so it really is a great advertising tool that other companies don't have, and it doesn't cost Tesla much. They also have it currently designed so that seeking out a referral link is essential for both sides, since as a buyer, you'll get $500 off of your vehicle purchase or $1,000 off for a Model S or X. Next up today, Tesla is recalling 1,337 vehicles in the US for an issue with misaligned cameras. Quote, "The misaligned cameras can lead to semi-autonomous systems, such as forward collision avoidance, to fail without warning." On the official recall notice from Tesla, they said, "On affected vehicles, the pitch angle of the forward-facing cameras may not be aligned to specification, which may cause certain active safety features, including automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning, and lane keeping assist, to be unavailable without alerting the driver." After detecting the issue, Tesla made changes on their production line, and one big change was narrowing the specification for the pitch angle of the front-facing camera. No other cameras appear affected. The breakdown of this recall is currently 2023 Model S, X, and Y vehicles, and this is definitely a physical recall. The fix is to go to Tesla service for an inspection and adjustment of the camera if necessary. I'm curious, since this is for 2023 vehicles and does not include the Model 3, if this only applies to vehicles with the new hardware 4.0 cameras. It would seem that this definitely could be the case. Next up today, Tesla's Project Highland Model 3 is back out testing, and now we have a couple things to note. First, Tesla's Fremont factory is currently shut down, but may already be ramping back up after some factory upgrades. Quote, "After only a few days of downtime, it appears as though the factory has already resumed production, at least partially. In another drone flyover on Thursday, the logistics lot had been reopened with dozens of newly built cars packing the lot and several car carriers being loaded up. Reportedly, it was only paused for 2 days, so some are speculating that another shutdown of the Model 3 line may occur separately to switch over to Project Highland." The first sighting was out near Palo Alto and shows a covered-up Model 3 in the same areas as all other sightings. This also has the extended inset for the side camera, so this is a body change from the current Model 3. Around the same time, the Kilowatts spotted this car in Fremont. The reflector and door for the charge port appear to have changed a little bit, and it's driving with Michelin Pilot Sport 4 18-inch tires. As we can see, there are multiple models here, and this one was spotted in Palo Alto with very tinted windows. I would imagine this has the upgraded interior fully that Tesla doesn't want people spotting. Here it is with the front completely covered up, and here it is from the back. These are great photos and angles of the updated car, but unfortunately it doesn't show us much new. In this photo though, we can see that Tesla is clearly tinting and hiding a lot, and that there's a full interior cover that's preventing anyone from seeing what could be an updated dash. Many seem to be hoping that this car adds a hatchback, but I think it's very clear that this is the exact same Model 3 shape. From the outside, it's only going to be changing in the areas that they are obviously covering up in each test mule. Timeline is very unclear for this refresh. We thought that the factory shutdown would absolutely coincide with the Highland upgrades, but at this point, with only a 2-day shutdown, it's coming into question. It also seems Tesla may have more testing to be done on multiple models before proceeding with actual production. Next up today, Tesla's latest Cybertruck prototype has been spotted out in the wild, and this is the funniest one we've seen yet. Usually when the Cybertruck is spotted in the wild, it's sporting the raw stainless steel look. Now that they've been gearing up to production though, they've been testing this truck with various wraps. First there's the camo wrap, which is something that many automakers do when testing a new vehicle. It's meant to disguise the vehicle, but it just became pretty funny with the Cybertruck since this design is so obviously unlike anything else. Tesla could be just having fun, they could be testing their own wrapping services, or they could actually think that this is working. Either way, there are multiple of these Cybertrucks out there, including this one in New Zealand going through winter testing. Then another Cybertruck was spotted with a new darker wrap. This one seems to do a better job helping this blend in, but still you can spot the Cybertruck's sharp lines anywhere. That could be why Tesla is trying a brand new approach here. The Cybertruck is too obvious, so what if they make it look like an average everyday truck? We saw photos of them wrapping a Cybertruck to look like an F-150, and these photos also showed us the size of the front trunk area on that car. Now, this Cybertruck has been spotted getting ready for, or perhaps completing some testing in California. It's actually pretty convincing from certain angles too. Here it is from behind, from another rear angle, and then from the side. It's pretty remarkable how much this wrap sells it and makes you think at first glance that this is an F-150. This is definitely a high quality wrap, and from the side, it really does look like the back end of Ford's most popular truck. On second glance though, it's obviously the Cybertruck. Tesla's real motivations here aren't clear, but there are a lot of angles on this, which likely is their ultimate goal. First, it's just funny to wrap this truck to look like a standard truck, and it could be Tesla's way of saying, does it really matter what this truck looks like? Here it looks like a boring truck, are you happy? At the same time, this might actually be their most effective camouflage yet. It's hiding in plain sight, and many may simply drive past it thinking it's some newly updated F-150. It could help them with testing in secret, at least to as much of a degree as they can with this truck. Then it generates buzz. Everyone wants to talk about how Tesla is joking around with Cybertruck wraps, and that's free press. All around with Tesla, even since the Cybertruck's infamous window break, they've had ways of keeping this truck in the news, even if it's not even related to it being produced. Next up today, Tesla is ahead of other companies in many ways, but now it's becoming clear that they're beating German automakers. According to Bloomberg this week, quote, Germany's automakers announced bold plans the last several years to shift to electric cars and challenge Tesla Inc.'s dominance. Instead, they're only falling further behind. Of course, this is the electric space, but, quote, Tesla delivered almost 890,000 cars in the first half of this year, more electric vehicles than Volkswagen AG, BMW AG, Mercedes-Benz Group AG, and Porsche AG combined. German automakers are falling behind in part due to software issues delaying key models, and it's affecting sales in China as well as Germany. Tesla is the top EV brand in Germany, and with Giga Berlin, this lead can keep expanding. Quote, Tesla is still miles ahead of the German car makers in all the major markets. They're under pressure to boost volumes to reach the kind of economies of scale needed to make EVs profitable. Interestingly, even this wording seems to assume Tesla's EVs aren't profitable, but they very much are. Long term though, they plan to utilize economies of scale so that lower prices still get enough profit. This article also argues that Tesla has left the door open for other automakers by not introducing a new car since 2020. But I think we're finding more and more that the constant refreshing of cars to interest new customers is working less and less. The Model Y hasn't changed much, and people don't seem to care. Next up today, a new survey has shown that the top reason Model 3 owners are selling their vehicle is because they disapprove of Elon Musk. Bloomberg surveyed 5,000 Model 3 owners and included a lot of questions about Elon. Of the owners that sold or replaced their cars for a vehicle from another brand, the top reason cited was disapproval of Elon Musk at 21.5%. 18.7% said concerns about quality or service, and just about tied with that was unhappy with Tesla's brand perception. Less popular reasons were that the cost was too high and Tesla didn't offer the style of vehicle needed. 7.5% said they switched to a gasoline vehicle for convenience. I personally can't imagine ever going back to a gasoline vehicle after owning several EVs, but if that 7.5% are frequent road trippers or can't charge at home or close by, that might explain it. Now, it has been noted that the survey found 87% of Model 3 owners are considering a Tesla for their next vehicle. So the percentage of people that are losing this loyalty is still pretty small, and of those people, only 21.5% are doing it because of Elon. That's a sizable amount that could grow in the future, but their loyalty still far outpaces that for now. Plus, these owners likely aren't selling their cars because of these reasons. These are just the reasons why they aren't buying another Tesla. So this isn't an issue of people not wanting their Teslas anymore. It's just a question of brand loyalty down the line. Overall, though, the survey was overwhelmingly positive, and a majority of customers are happy with their purchase. It's actually a good sign that the #1 reason people have for not buying a Tesla has nothing to do with the actual product. That does still mean Tesla is losing customers, though. If 2.7% of Tesla customers don't come back because of Elon, that's 50,000 vehicles per year, which equates to a few $billions in revenue. This likely isn't a new happening, though. It's just the first time we've seen it reflected clearly in a survey. This survey has the Model 3 faring well in 6 key reliable areas, 3 of which are chassis components, battery, and drivetrain. Quote, overwhelmingly, respondents strongly agreed that the car is enjoyable to drive and said that it's been more reliable than previous cars they've owned. A majority of owners say they don't intend to ever buy a gas-powered car again, and almost 3/4 of those surveyed say they're considering a Tesla for their next purchase, with the Cybertruck the most popular answer. Regarding the exterior, one responder to the survey said, "The car has been very reliable compared to other cars I've owned. I just wish the fit and finish was better." Quote, "In terms of battery health and degradation, the survey found that the average range drop for the Model 3 and Model Y was about 9% after 100,000 miles. That's what's been reported on average, so it looks to be holding up across the board." For service, Tesla's perception of their app-based service has actually improved, and the majority of owners were satisfied with service once it was performed on their car. The stat I found most interesting is that a majority of customers think that the full self-driving feature was worth the price that they paid for it. They also think Tesla is on the right track here. I'd be curious to know what these customers paid for it and how much they had researched ahead of time. Maybe with the cost so high, customers clearly know what they're signing up for and are setting up expectation accurately. Either way, this is a very interesting survey. It's only 5,000 customers, but it clearly shows that on the product side, Tesla is doing a great job. Customers are happy with Tesla, the cars they make, and even their service, but they're getting more frustrated with Elon Musk each day. Next up today, a new report from Reuters claims Tesla has been overstating their vehicle ranges, purposely and by a lot. Most Tesla and EV owners know by now that EPA ranges are not reliable, but we've noticed a pattern over the years that when it comes to real-world testing, Tesla's vehicles have the largest deviation from real-world range to EPA estimated range. The main part of this Reuters report claims that this is on purpose. Quote, "Tesla years ago began exaggerating its vehicles' potential driving distance by rigging their range estimating software. The company decided about a decade ago, for marketing purposes, to write algorithms for its range meter that would show drivers rosy projections for the distance it could travel on a full battery, according to a person familiar with an early design of the software for its in-dash readouts. Then, when the battery fell below 50% of its maximum charge, the algorithm would show drivers more realistic projections for their remaining driving range," this person said. To prevent drivers from getting stranded as their predicted range started declining more quickly, Teslas were designed with a safety buffer, allowing about 15 miles of additional range even after the dash readout showed an empty battery, the source said. Reportedly, this came directly from Elon because when you buy a car off the lot seeing 350-mile, 400-mile range, it makes you feel good. Of course, as always, keep in mind that this is an anonymous source. The interesting thing here is that regardless of where this came from at Tesla, it's pretty easy to spot. Tesla was fined $2.2 million by the KFTC for falsely overstating ranges earlier this year, and Recurrent, which regularly looks at data in EVs, found big differences in promised and real range. A 2021 Model Y was advertised at 326 miles, but barely hit 250 miles. On average, it actually got 200 miles. As noted by Electrek, though, the important thing to consider with Recurrent numbers is that Tesla owners aren't necessarily trying to get good range. They are often driving Teslas fast and often without preheating them. Range only really matters for most people on long trips. Recurrent is taking in data at all times, not just trips. Still, Tesla's deviation was around 26% from EPA estimates, and it's due in part to the EPA's rating system. Quote, "Automakers can conduct additional tests to come up with their own range estimate. Tesla does this on all models, whereas most other brands do not. So this comes down to a few things. First, if Tesla is actively writing software to make owners feel good while displaying knowingly inaccurate range estimates, that's obviously not good. That doesn't help anyone, and they're clearly twisting a narrative that is false. That is never a good thing. At the same time, it's pretty clear that EPA ranges are not accurate, regardless of how accurate this source is. Tesla is incentivized to show the highest range they can, and the EPA allows it to happen. I think that's where the real change needs to occur, because relying on any company to be more honest and advertise their vehicle ranges as real world, while other companies don't have to, just never really works. Still, as an owner, it's clear that in a Model Y with 100% charge, I'll never drive 330 miles. You can see it immediately by charging up, navigating to a destination under your estimated range, and seeing that you have to charge to get there. This has created this unfortunate situation where each of the thousands of owners currently connected to Recurrent know that there is a range estimate from the EPA, a range estimate displayed on the vehicle dashboard, and an actual range. Ultimately, we want a range estimate across the board that we can rely on, and standardized, accurate testing across the entire industry. I imagine it could be a while to get there though, since EV range is often the biggest concern amongst customers, and then when they get the EV, they find that they don't actually need all that range that they thought they did. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Toyota has officially filed 4 trademark requests with the EU Intellectual Property Office for a new Lexus TZ model. The applications are for 4 different trims, including the TZ450E and premium TZ550E. Not much additional information has been leaked, but Lexus's naming conventions can tell us a little bit about it. They use S for sedan, X for SUV, and M for MPV. Then Z denotes zero emissions. Their first all-electric SUV, the RZ450E, saw the X replaced with a Z since it's an EV. They just launched the Lexus TX this year, which is a huge 3-row SUV, so TZ indicates that this new model is the electric version of that car. It'll most likely share a design language and be built on Toyota's upcoming dedicated EV platform that's due in 2026. GM has confirmed their Ultium-based Chevy Bolt EV will be coming, a mid-Q2 success. They achieved their goal of producing 50,000 EVs in the first half of 2023 and saw a 52% increase in net income year over year to $2.54 billion. Most excitedly though, they announced that the recently canceled Bolt EV, which actually made up most of those sales, will be revived on their Ultium platform with lowered expenses and a streamlined production. They're also launching 6 new EVs later this year, including the Chevy Silverado EV WT, Chevy Blazer EV, Chevy Equinox EV, Chevy Silverado EV RST First Edition, BrightDrop Zevo 400, and the Cadillac Celestiq. Many fans will be glad to see the return of the Bolt EV though, which accounts for a significant percentage of GM's EV sales, though it looks like that may change this year with the introduction of so many new models if they can scale them up. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the biggest Tesla myths, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.